And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love. I'm back. It's been a hectic week, but we have so many things to get into in this episode. The college football AP poll was released. College football is back on our screens this Saturday. It's week 0, but nonetheless, we're back. Um, we also have college sports and how it's a disaster. Who is even eligible for fifth year? I'll give you my thoughts on the Daquan Wright situation going from Cleveland to LSU. Then we're going to be talking about the Keelan Russell. He was named the Alabama starter. We're going to be talking about Ashton Genty news, just training camp news, college football news. We'll we're going to talk about it here on the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. But let's start here with the most recent news. Deshaun Watson has been named the starter for the Cleveland Browns. He will be the week 1 starter. And to me, this is just more of an indictment on the Cleveland Browns. Here's why. I I feel like Shador should be starting. I do. But that press conference that Deshaun Watson had to go out and name him the QB1. This is the quote from Deshaun Watson. He says, "Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles in that same fan base. They cheered when I got there. What does that have anything to do with the performance?" He said it's not about the performance. Bro, yes, it is about the performance. If you were good, they would have forgotten all about the 26 women and all that. Because fan bases do that. Now, there's some people that still wouldn't have liked you. But if you were playing well, and if you were the Deshaun Watson of old, and you were leading them to the playoffs, they would have forgotten about all of that because they're so desperate to win there. Because in Cleveland, it's been a dumpster fire for the past 3 decades. Basically, since their inception, it's been a disaster. It's about the play on the field. It's about you making all that money guaranteed, close to $300 million, all of it guaranteed, and you've played like dog water. Also, you have to look at it from this perspective. Deshaun Watson, the Browns have been better when he's been off the field. The year they made the playoffs, bro, he didn't even play a lot of games. They made the playoffs with Joe Flacco, PJ Watt. They were still winning games. Now that was Stefanski there, and of course they had a great defense. But for majority of time, they've been better with you off the field, which is kind of staggering. Your play has dictated this. Now, how he can make those comments and Todd Monken can make him the starter, is this a Monken move? Is this a Haslam move? Who knows? I mean, Monken, he said Deshaun Watson, he cooked Deshaun Watson. He said, "How does it feel to get booed? It sucks. I don't want to get booed, but it comes with the territory. You don't want to get booed? Let's play good football. Let's play good at quarterback." And it's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. I just don't understand this move from an organizational standpoint. You know what Deshaun Watson is, right? You know what it is. And by the way, there's a very good chance you start 0-4 And I felt this way even if Shador was in the lineup because the games are hard regardless. But if you start 0-4 because you're at Jacksonville to start, then you're at Tampa, then you've got Carolina in the home opener. Boy, I would love to see the scenes there. And then you've got Pittsburgh at home. So automatically, you could be 0-4. Now, granted, they can win one of those games, but with Deshaun at quarterback, there's a good chance you're 0-4. And if you're 0-4, the season's over. So what, you're gonna move to store? I said it. It's as simple as this. To see what you have with Shador. That's as simple as that. Start him to see what you have. If he's good and you think he's your future and you don't have a great record, that's good because now you don't have to draft a quarterback and you can use those picks that Andrew Berry got you to build and put pieces around him to succeed. If he's not the answer, if he's not the guy, okay, this is a stacked quarterback class. But you go with Watson. What is Watson going to start the whole season? And then we go and they suck. And then what? You don't resign him, and then we go into next year wondering the same thing about Shador. I don't understand what the Cleveland Browns thought process is here. But then again, I don't understand anything that the Cleveland Browns do. I'm not even saying this as to be like, oh, I like Shador. I need him to start. That's not what this is. Do I like Shador? I do. But I'm not going to go out here out my way and be like, he, no matter what, he should be starting. But in this case, I feel like he should be the starter because of the reasons I just named. I don't the thought process. I'm just not understanding it. I think Cleveland Brown fans. I don't even think it's just with Shador. I think they'd rather have Taylor Green out there than Deshaun Watson. I think that that relationship with the fan base is so broken. You can't get that back. And so now, look, he's going to be the starter. I just named you the first 4 weeks. It could get rough. It could very well get rough. I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. But I just don't understand the thinking and thought process. But Deshaun Watson is the starter, and that's what it is. Okay, now college football AP poll. It was my birthday on August 17th where it got released. I missed it. Uh, I've been moving for college, so obviously I haven't been able to get a video up. But today I have a video. I'm gonna get this up, so let's do it. All right, let's look at this at the top 25 for the AP. Number one team in the country, it's Ohio State, and that's not shocking, right? Number two is Oregon. Number three is Georgia. People can say that's a little high, whatever. Number four is Notre Dame. Number five is Texas. Number six is Indiana. Number seven is Miami. Eight is A&M. Nine is Ole Miss. 10 is Oklahoma. 11 is LSU. 12 is Texas Tech. 13 is Alabama. 14 is BYU. USC is 14 as well. I guess there's a tie at 14. Who either or at 15. Michigan 16. Washington 17. 18 is Penn State, 19 is SMU, 20 is Tennessee, 21 is Utah, 22 is Iowa, 23 is Houston, 24 is Louisville, and 25 is Mizzou. Go figure. They're always 25 in this poll. Um, I'm going to be honest here. I think they got the first 15 teams right, give or take a spot. Maybe I put USC ahead of BYU and Bama. Maybe I put in my notes, is Indiana the reigning defending national champions at 6? Is that too low? I also put in my notes, is Texas A&M too high? They're very interesting as well. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with that. 16 through 35, and I say 35 because the teams that aren't ranked. I think this is a crapshoot. I think it's a crapshoot. I think six. I think. Do I think they got the teams right? I mean, I won't say all 25. I mean, if you want to make the case like you don't understand why Mizzou's ranked, I get it. Penn State being ranked at 18 over SMU, I think is a bit of a stretch, to be honest, because I think, but it, you know, it's just, I said it, it's a crapshoot. It's so hard in the preseason because you have these preseason expectations and you never know. There's a team that could come out of nowhere, maybe a Florida, maybe a Auburn that comes out of nowhere. But in terms of the AP poll in the preseason, I mean, you can't really stress about it that much, to be honest. I think for the most part, it's a solid list. Again, I've seen worse. It's a solid poll. Give or take a couple of spots. What this means for week 1 is that in week 1, which is in 2 weeks, not this week, week 0 predictions will be up Wednesday or Thursday. Uh, what this means for week 1 is in terms of the ranked versus ranked games, you have Ole Miss and Louisville. That's the only ranked versus ranked. But you also have LSU, who's number 11. Look, the Battle of Death Valley, that's going to be huge, right? SMU goes on the road to Florida State on a Monday, September 7th. So yeah, but week 2 is going to be massive as well in terms of the ranked versus ranked games. But overall, the AP poll not bad. Seen worse. Very good. I'm not. I don't really have that many complaints. Now, let's get in. Also, 7 Big 10 teams are ranked in the opening poll, 9 for the SEC. Okay, let's get into this college sports disaster. The NCAA is a disaster. And I said that multiple times because it's just the truth of the matter. But it I don't even know what to say anymore. Okay, so obviously the news came out before, before Friday that fifth year class of 2022 gets an extra year, whatever the case may be, they get that fifth year. Now, the fifth years, the NCAA, fifth years ineligible. The recent class action ruling that gave all players in the class of 2022 a fifth year of eligibility this fall has stayed, marking a significant win for the NCAA. Those players will now be ineligible unless they were granted a specific temporary restraining order in their own lawsuit, or if they got an an injunction. Can't say that word, an injunction. Ladies and gentlemen, the season starts in 6 days now. So this is insane. So you've got a lot of guys who are ineligible. However, there's a guy in the portal, Tommy Castellanos. He's eligible. He's been granted eligibility for another college football season. Castellanos filed a lawsuit last week, and today he's officially been granted a eligibility for a fifth season. He's in the portal. I don't even know who would even bring him in. The season's literally about to start this week, and and I know it's not game week for everybody, but you're ramping up to that. But it's about to be game week, you know. So I don't even know who brings him in. So this is a disaster. And then the Daquan White. Daquan White was the tight end for Ole Miss last year. He goes to the NFL. He's in training camp with the Browns. He has now gone back to college to go. He entered the portal and committed to LSU. Lane Kiffin scooped him up. I don't even you. I'm gonna try not to get heated. This this whole first of all, there are a lot of people who are at the top of the sport who are screaming about this, that are in charge. You're in charge. Do something. You haven't done anything. You're screaming about the issues. I'm screaming about the issues. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one in charge. You're the one in charge. You are screaming about the issues, but you have a chance to fix the issues, and you're just not doing it. The NCAA just turns a blind eye, I guess doesn't care, and look, coaches, I don't even blame the coaches on this that are doing this. Because it shouldn't be up to them. It should not be up to them whether they can get a fifth-year player. I do not blame Lane Kiffin because it shouldn't even be up to Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's like, yeah, we have Trey Green, but we can run two tight ends set. I mean, this will make we can use Daquan Wright in so many ways, like I did in Ole Miss. Let's bring him in. I'm not blaming Lane Kiffin because the system shouldn't even allow that. The system it shouldn't even be up to him. Kurt Signetti brings back Stephen Daly and Keller Wyatt, who are now ineligible. They were just sitting around. Look, I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. It shouldn't be up to them. There should be rules and regulations, but we don't have those because it's college sports and it's the wild, wild west. So we pay whatever we want for players. Players can go to the NFL and come back. Players can hit the portal basically whenever. I mean, this is insanity. And I don't even know you got some guys who are ineligible. You got guys who have filed lawsuits and injunctions and appeals, and they have a temporary restraining order. That's the thing with Daquan Wright. He has a temporary restraining order. So he now can go play. Because week one is in like what? Week one, 2 weeks away. He's probably gonna play in the opener against Clemson. Unless something drastically shifts. When you go on an NFL, I don't care, training camp roster, preseason roster, practice squad, you should not be eligible to come back. You're done. You forgo whatever eligibility you have left. You're done. You shouldn't be able to go test the waters, play in the NFL preseason game, then be like, oh, I'm probably going to get cut. Let me come back to college for that NIL. That that shit. How is that even a thing? How does that even work? That should not even be a thing, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So again, I don't blame the coaches. It shouldn't even be in your hands. I mean, if we had actual rules and regulations going on in college sports, it shouldn't even be up to them. I said the same thing about the college football playoff. Well, Well, the coaches want 24. Of course they want 24. Because it keeps their job intact. Oh, I just made the playoff. You can't fire me. Of course they want it. Mike Elko's the only one that's like, hey, I want a 40-team playoff. I respect him for that. He knows this. They all know this. So the coaches are the last people I'm going to ask about playoff expansion. And it really shouldn't be expanded. Ever. 12, you've hit your saturation point. But that's a topic for another day. But this thing, it shouldn't even be up to them. This, this the NCAA has screwed this whole thing up, and Nick Saban called it. You can say what you want about Coach Nick Saban. Coach Saban called it. He called it. He told you what a big disaster this was going to be. And it's a circus. The only hope that you have to getting this fixed is if like this somehow affects the NFL in some sort of way and they step in and it's like, yo, y'all gotta fix this. Because it's a disaster. Because I've said disaster a lot, but that's what it is. There's no other way to describe what's going on in college athletics. It's the same thing with college basketball right now. Louisville, go out. Oh, Seth Trimble, come on in. Oh, wait, he's ineligible now. What is happening here? Oh, Jackson Kohler, you know what? I know you were in Summer League. You can come and be our big man for BYU. What? And this thing, and if this continues, I'm gonna be honest. I think this is gonna drive a lot of coaches out of the sport. I partially think this is a reason. I don't know if Coach Saban will admit this, or maybe he has or hasn't. I think this is a reason why Coach Saban wanted to get out of it. And look, maybe you could say paying players, but like there's paying players, and then there's whatever this is. Like this is a disaster, and if somebody does not come in and fix this soon, it's going to get worse. I know. How could it get worse? Trust me, it could get worse. That's and that's the deal. Um, shouldn't even be talking about that. Should be talking about ball and college game day going to Ole Miss for week 3. Uh, in a marquee matchup against LSU. The first 3 weeks, I believe they're at Death Valley. Then I believe they're going to Ann Arbor. Or are they going to Ann Arbor or Austin? I can't remember. But I think they're going to Austin. And then they're going for Texas, Ohio State. And then they're going to Ole Miss LSU. To me, from a pure entertainment value, this is I think this is I'm going to be the most excited. Like I'm going to be glued to my seat for this because man, Kiffin coming back, a lot of players still on that team from last year. Playoff implications. It's a swing game in the SEC. Depending on if LSU lost to Clemson, they could be 1-1 walking into that game, and if they lose that game, oh my lord, they're 1-2. By the way, A&M comes to town the week after that. So man, I don't know. I don't know. It, that's a really interesting game. I obviously think both are playoff caliber teams. I think both have talent to win the national title, truth be told. Now, whether LSU's able to gel it together, I have more confidence in Ole Miss just based off the fact that I know people are going to talk about Lane Kiffin effect. I think having Chambliss, having Lacey, I think they got better on defense. I think Ole Miss, they're gonna be able to gel quicker, right? Okay, S- so that's gonna be an exciting game. That was announced. Also something that was announced. Keelan Russell has been named the Alabama starter. Uh, Keelan Russell is just an incredible. I think it's going to be incredible. Truth be told, watch the tape, some of the throws, the way he's able to use his legs. Now he is a freshman quarterback, a true freshman quarterback, and look to start the season. I mean, look, does he maybe struggle week 2 at Kentucky? Could be a possibility, but I think with Alabama, what gives you the best chance to win. You could have started Austin Mack to stabilize, and then when Keelan was ready, but Keelan obviously in camp have been the better guy, so they went with him. Again, Bama, what he brings is the read option game, which could help them run the ball because he can use his legs a lot, and obviously the ability to get out of plays. I think he's a great athlete. Here, Alabama's gonna. I'm gonna ask the same question: can you run the football? Because if you're asking a true freshman to put it all on his shoulders, like you did Ty Simpson last year, it's not going to go well. He may play, and he may still play well, but not as well as he's capable of playing. So that's going to be the question. Can they still run the ball? He's been named the starter. Also, Tennessee named their starter today. I believe it was Face On Brandon who was named the starter. Yeah, Face On Brandon. He's the first true freshman QB to start week 1 for Tennessee since 2004. They've been very high on him. His high school resume, he was 35-1 as a starter, 8,984 total yards and 114 TDs. They feel like Tennessee's a year away. I do feel like Tennessee's a year away. Obviously, true freshman quarterback is going to be. I think he's a very talented player. Don't know what to expect from Tennessee. Like, does Tennessee just go 8-4 again? Because I think that's kind of a possibility. Do they go 9-3, and are they a French playoff team where maybe they barely miss in next year? I have no Heupel and quarterback. Like, I have no like. I think the offense is going to look great. The defense is what I'm concerned about. Can that defense get back close to what they were in 2024 when they were elite? So, in last year, that was the issue. Offense was really, really good. Defense was not good. Um, they get Texas coming to them in week 4. They get Alabama at home in the third Saturday in October. They get LSU coming to them as well. So I mean, they're gonna have some high profile games. Or does Faison Brandon just light it on fire? Does the defense play good? And are they a year ahead of schedule? And do they make the playoff? Are they the surprise team coming out the SEC? And they make the playoff? Do they maybe get Texas in week 4? Do they upset one of these teams? To me, Tennessee's very interesting. Faison Brandon being named the starting quarterback. I think it. I'm very interested to watch Tennessee this year. Okay, now let's go to Ashton Genty. He in practice sprained his ankle. They're going to be precaution. They're going to take precautions. Week, I, they said there's a chance he could be ready for week one. Um, that the Raiders obviously need him. Look, Michael Washington Jr. is also a good back, but you need all the help you can get offensively because it's still not looking that great. So yeah, he people were saying a prayer because for his teammates were saying a prayer like, please don't let it be bad. It's just a sprained ankle. It's a sigh of relief. You got to make sure you can nurse it, get it healthy. Hopefully, he's ready for week one. If he's not, it's not the end of the world. You just want him healthy. That's really what you want. You just want Ashton Genty healthy. So that was some news coming out of training camp. I think the Raiders aren't going to be that good either way. They're still in the process of rebuilding. Okay, now to end it all, see the Seahawks signed Trayvon Diggs and Terrion Arnold. Um, to get their corner room intact. Their cornerback room I thought was already good. Maybe not as good as last year because they did lose some guys in the secondary. But I think this getting Terrion Arnold and Trayvon Diggs could help him. Terrion Arnold, obviously, he's still got that case. We'll see what happens with that. Does he get suspended? Um, I don't know if he gets suspended. You would think so, but again, the league they have the Josh Jacobs situation as well. They suspended James Pierce Jr. 8 games. Yeah, so if he's good to go, does he get suspended a couple games? They got Trayvon Diggs as well. I think Seattle is still primed to be a contender. Do I think they win the Super Bowl? I don't think they're the favorites. I don't pick them. I think the Rams are the favorites to come out the NFC. But do I think they still have a good shot? Yes, because yes, they lost some guys, but 90% of their team returns. And a majority of their people in the trenches returns, which is what was so huge for them last season. So yeah, I do think Seattle is competing for the NFC again and very good. And I think these two signings help that. Okay, everybody, this has been an episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.